In this video, I will show you how to tie a washer bracelet. I work with a black satin cord because it's flexible and strong and easy to use. Now you need 3 strands. The first one you put into a loop, so one end to the next, and burnt with a match at the end and separated with a separator at the end, so they just look like a loop like this. So you need 2 of them and 1 cord string on its own. Now this is the washer bracelet, so this is the washer with the inscriptions on. Again, it is a solid 1.5mm thick piece. So we get our first strand and put it through the front. Sometimes I do it through the back, which is wrong, but you do it through the front and you put the end into the loop and pull. And pull tightly so it will stay in place. You just have to do that again with the next matching piece, again through the front and the ends inside the loop, and pull again tightly so that you have each of those 2 identical pieces opposite of each other. So it looks like this. Now this is the tricky part, but if you have the 2 ends and you just cross them over each other and hold it tightly, this is where the single strand of cord will come in to tie it and connect it. Now you just have to make it into a loop on one end. Let me put this down. You just make it into a loop on one end like this, but make sure that the other end is long, because that will be the end you tie it with. Now the loop end, remember to put those 2 pieces on top of each other, goes on top of that crisscross that you've just made, and you get the end that you've left long to wrap over the loop that you've made, as well as the 2 crisscross ends of the other 2 pieces. So you just wrap it around and around until it's a short length where you can just put it through the loop that you were holding and pull. Now when you pull this, just hold the pieces together. When you pull it and it's securely in place, you can pull the other end of that single strand as well. And when you pull them together, make sure you pull them very tight so they're secured tightly. So you just have to pull them and make sure they're tight. Now you'll have these 2 ends that are still there. So the separator ends you leave in there, but the 2 ends from that single strand of satin cord we will fix up now. So you just have to make sure it's tight first. I always do this a lot to make sure that it won't go out of place. Now those 2 ends, as you can see, they're still too long. So this is where we will get our scissors and cut those pieces off. So the first one is cut, and we move everything out of the way, and we get our lighter or match. So make sure everything's out of the way. I use this kitchen lighter, and you burn the ends. When you burn the ends, it will actually melt like a sticky substance, and you can just hit it with the end of the lighter to make sure they stick together. And then we do it to the other end, so we cut that piece off, and again we will burn the ends to make it sticky and stuck in place. Be careful here because it can get hot for a while, but it will go away after a few seconds. So you just cut off any of the residue that's still there and make sure that it's stuck in place. Then pull the two ends that have the separator that were the identical pieces. When you pull them, they should resize to make it smaller, and then when you put them apart, they should resize to make it bigger. So this washer bracelet can be worn and resized to your wrist. This size is a 19 centimeter. I'm a 16 centimeter, so this is a bit too big for me, but it can be resized, but that's why there are still long ends at the end. But they can be opened easily because they will slide, which is the best thing about the cords. Satin as well. And there you go, a washer bracelet.